All right, 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 all right. I better leave my glasses. All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Jabba platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High, AHAYAH has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm coming with a topic that's going to cover why there are so many people addicted to chaos. I mean, they are addicted to chaos. Don't think evil and wicked didn't consider different type of platforms that would produce all kind of wicked and evil, and people will flock to it based on the level of chaos that is uploaded and posted. What I have learned throughout the time being here on the devil's platform, truly, truly, truly the devil's platform, but no matter what it's called, even though it is the devil platform, my father Ahaya has allowed wicked and evil, evil and wicked, to come forth and put several different, how many, YouTube, Twitter, probably 8 or 9, maybe even more, platforms where people can express their wicked and evil, and that their wicked and evil might appear to be good and right. So on this devil platform, that's how people see everything they see on this devil platform. There's a young lady, and she's having children after children, uh, and she's not having these children because how would I say it? Her husband and her come to a mutual agreement that they continue this. She's doing this all on her own. She got 6 different fathers, and her last husband, she had the third child by him, the last 3. And she has 1 million subscribers. Mhm. Yes. People love chaos. And the things that she's said to be very intelligent. She has a degree, but the things that she does, she has no, to me, no morals or standards for herself nor for her children. She just live based on how um, the platform orchestrate her in the way she should uh, video the films. And, she can't get on there, and I don't think, and do the way what she want to do. And you can tell that she's so relaxed in whatever they have her to do, and she don't have no shame in her, in nothing she does, even if it is like, she would, I'm gonna tell you something she would do. She would take Pride uh, Week and make sure all her children go to school with rainbow colors. That's how she is. Her mindset is just not there. It's just not there. Have you heard of someone could be so smart to where they don't have the common sense? But she's just don't have a lot of things about her. And even though she has that many subscribers, people do not understand the more chaos, and out of, I say, more chaos, when there's no morals, integrity, and no how would I say it, standards, those are the ones that would gain that type of subscribers. I'm telling you, these platforms are off the chain regarding chaos. I look at the time I've been on here, and then let's say, for instance, yesterday is what prompted me to talk about the topic in which I'm on today. And hello, everyone in the live chat. It's good to see you. And what I realized within that time, I had up to like almost 500 people that viewed that page before before I got off of the YouTube that yesterday. And I'm saying to myself, what would prompt people to run to that page? Chaos. Everybody listening and looking for chaos in their lives. They're actually looking and seeking chaos in their lives. And Sister Deborah thinking she's just going to talk about a topic that's off the chain. And the only reason why I talked about the topic is because, believe it or not, someone might say, I don't like to talk about people and I don't like to talk. That topic interfered with our Father in heaven. This individual is actually trying to, how would I say it, belittle the Father, which he cannot do, but in the eyes of a lot of weak people, he can. And I realized that it's like I said at the beginning of the message yesterday, it was all the will, I believe, of the Father, not for the, there's a righteous will and there is a unrighteous will. A lot of people don't know it. It's one will. It's when he molded the clay, one to honor and one to dishonor. You see? When he molded the clay, he molded one way and one the other. They both counteract each other. You see? But who's the potter of that lump? AHAYAH is. So that's what he was kind of sharing with me at the beginning, just telling me that he is the potter of the clay. So with me, I wanted to just cover somewhat to see and hear what others had to say, but I think I got kind of into it a little bit. But the thing that got to me was the fact that people are not on the platform listening to anyone because you giving them spirit and truth, or you giving them righteous. I'm talking about these people who don't normally come to this page. They on here looking for chaos. They looking for chaos because somewhere along this line, I don't think people survive without having chaos in their lives, being able to hear and entertain and see chaos. Because I thought about it and I say, now, that's the, for a live that in this short amount of hours, that was a lot, but it was a lot, how would I say it, of subscribers and likes, but it was because of the topic covers, and it covered a lot of, how would I say it, information that's out there regarding this individual. So they searching what you would call trash to fulfill their desire to hear a lot of chaos. And it was what happened. It made me realize when I didn't go back to look, but when the Spirit said, go back and I want you to look. And when I went back to look, I said, well, what am I looking for? He said, now you see the number. I said, I see the number, but it doesn't even balance. He said, but that shows you that there are people searching day and night on these devil platforms for chaos. They're not searching for me, Sister Deborah. They're not searching. He said, Sister Deborah, but he's saying they're not searching for me. You see, they're searching for chaos. Anything going on in the world, they're searching for stuff like that. And that's what happened yesterday. It wasn't that they were searching for me or had something to say to me. It was, oh, we're looking for chaos. because even the mindset of individual, 1 minute they're talking this way, next minute they dropping this way, next minute they dropped all the way below. You wonder, well, what was you in here for? So it led me to realize that the level of this devil platform is not even 1% for that which is righteous, even less than 1%. It's beyond 99.9, I don't know what it and a half, or 99.9 and a half, I say, or on these devil platforms looking for stuff of wicked and evil and believe it or not, a lot of darkness, a lot of witchcraft, a lot of Satanism. Oh, it's so many Satanism uh, 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 that has emerged on all platforms. All kind of ways of worshiping. You can't really find anything that really is going to surround spirit and truth. But that leads me back to the narrow gate. It makes sense. It makes sense why the narrow gate is so narrow. But just dealing with the ideal of, it's a sad thing to know that, no, it's really not. He just saying that to me. It's really not a sad thing. Let me not say that. He says it's really not a sad thing. Okay. He's giving me something in my spirit here. And this is when I said that it's a sad thing, and then he said, but really it has been written, Deborah, in time past. And what I'm about to read is not the only time he is saying that it has taken place. Where we're at today, the mindset of people, it has happened more than one time. This is going on probably third or fourth time, but I'm just saying, he's just letting me know, even as I speak, don't take this to be a time period that has not repeated itself. It's just worse. And this is what he said. In Genesis chapter 6, he said, and AHAYAH saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Let me read that again so you can get it. Now, this is AHAYAH saying. He said in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5, and AHAYAH saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thought of his heart was only, 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 only with evil continually. Don't y'all, you know what? That's powerful. And on one side, in the flesh, is kind of scary. That means the thoughts of people is constantly focusing on evil continually. If that's not powerful, I don't know what is. Now, when he's saying this, it's kind of trying to support me in where I'm at with this message, because he wants me to understand that this is not the first time, Deborah. This is not the first time this is taking place. Today. He's speaking of today. He said it has went on throughout time. And then here it is. And we in Proverbs chapter 6. Okay. And verse 18. The heart that divided wickedness, imaginations, feet that be swift to run to mischievous. Most people are quick to run. That's what he said. Quick to run to that which is mischievous. That is so true. People run on all the pages that's saying something that's so full of chaos that it's like a 4 meal deal, or not even a 4 meal deal. It's like a movie or a show that comes on, and everybody look forward to seeing it that week, or And that's how it is on these other platforms, except they get it every day. So there is a form of addiction to these platforms. I don't know, a lot of you all might say, oh no, I don't think it's addictions. I don't think it's very many addictions. People are not oh yes. Don't think when they went to the table and came up with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, what else? Instagram, all these pages, they had a plan, and it's supposed to it's supposed to interfere with your every, how would I say, your daily life. Okay, that was the true plan at the table. See, they didn't come up with these things to say, okay, we just coming up with this here to make money, or they come with these different platforms to interfere with your lives, all of our lives. And a lot of people don't know that they are totally addicted to these platforms. And the worst thing with Sister Deborah, I would want to be addicted to, is something that is wicked and evil. You see, that is wicked and evil. And here in Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 18, the heart that divided wickedness, imagination, feet that be swift to run to mischievous. This is sad. It's sad because it's the truth. And that's what makes it sad. People are not running to the truth. Now, they wouldn't run to what was said in Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. They wouldn't run to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 18. These things just giving you an insight of how people's mind is. It's not any different today outside of worser. That's why you have all these platforms today, which you did not have yesterday. So it has to be worser. So that leads us to come to the conclusion, not to even to the conclusion, but the truth of the matter, that these platforms are very addictive. People are addictive to these platforms. And guess what? Do you think it's they're addicted to what is spirit and truth, what is righteous, what is just? No, they're addicted to evil and wicked. That's it. Continually. That's what they're addicted to. That's what these platforms bring to people. A lot of wicked and evil. Had not this platform, Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, had not it been here, a lot of things that has been taking place, a lot of people would never have known it. So is it something to know it? Is it important to know it? What is it about evil and wicked that's important to know? You see, even the conversation yesterday, it's a form for me, because I never step in that type of realm, but I felt compelled to do so. And when I did, I realized that, you know what? After he said, go look, he said, go and look. And I was saying, look, I'm going to have to look up at this page. He said, just look. And as I saw the numbers, I said, well, what is being said on here? It's chaos. They are searching chaos. That's why you can get people coming on a page they normally wouldn't come on, because they're searching for something. And what did Genesis say? Watch this here. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 said, every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil and wicked. That's all they're searching for. Evil and wicked. People are addicted to evil and wicked continually. So they wake up searching YouTube, and they lay down searching YouTube. They wake up searching YouTube, and they lay down searching YouTube. And don't you ever, 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 ever think they searching it for the righteous will of the Father, for the righteous information, for spirit and truth, for what AHAYAH has to say. They're not searching it for that. And when I mean the numbers that I say 99.9 and I say point and a half, that's how many are searching it for chaos, only for chaos. You see, you have, I don't know if y'all know this, there are many of pages that teaches young children and young teenagers how to switch over from being a female to a male and a male to a female in their everyday lifestyle. If that's not wicked and evil, everything on these platforms, the same platform, which is YouTube, that Sister Deborah is on, this same platform, there's just that much wicked on here. Just that much wicked and chaos along with it. So the reason why I'm saying addicted to chaos, I put it nice. Let's see what AHAYAH says in Genesis chapter 6. And AHAYAH saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination, he didn't say some, he didn't say part of their imagination, he said every imagination of their thoughts, of their heart, was only one way. And what way was that? It evil continually. So when they came up with YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, it was to cause individual to be addicted. Same thing with the cell phone. Everything is about taking over your mind, the way you think. And this is what he's talking about. Every thought was evil continually. I don't know if you all ever saw that video when that mother took the phone from her son and how he tore that house up. I would suggest that he get locked up. I think he should have got locked up. And I believe mother should not have let him out. She could go see him every day, but make sure he spend the time, because he do that again somewhere else, he's 6 foot under. 100% 6 foot under. He would lose his life, because no one would put up with that. First thing, they look at his size and say, no, I'm gonna bring him down now. See, and why he did it because he looked at her and he had gotten so big over her, and he looked at her taking his phone as something that was worth destroying everything. She worked from home, her computers from her job, everything. And then how do you think a mother feel? How do you think that a mother would feel just because of a phone? And I'm going to tell y'all something y'all did not know. And you probably don't care to know. Because the truth is what sets us free, not a lie. Only the truth. That son that did this, if they look up his daddy and see the history of his daddy and his daddy, he's repeating the same cycle. That's why she wasn't aware that he was like that. She wasn't. She was shocked. Mothers don't understand. You think you know your children. You don't. Because they're not yours. Women get these babies and they just think, this is my baby. I'm raising them. And so on and so on. But the truth of the whole matter, that is his seed. His father's seed. His father's seed. And every wicked and anything else comes down that seed. You can come down your father's seed, but your children ain't coming down your seed. They coming down the father's seed. And if they get anything on your side, that's because it came down your father's seed. So it's something to think about. No, it ain't nothing to think about, because the father says over. And that's a way out for Sister Deborah in any and everything. That's what you call truly set free. Set to liberty. Because I can take every situation and hand it right back to the Father. Why? Because he said, Deborah, where did you start? What did I teach you? How did I teach you? When did I teach you? How long you been knowing this? See, I know where it started, and I know where it's going to end. And that is another thing amongst the whole house of Israel, not knowing their true history, and their true history does not rest in the history of the world, but in spirit and truth of the matter that truly sets you free. If you all knew how many men I have talked to and have told them their history and where they got what they got, how they got it, it'll blow your mind how you hear them react and say, but how would you know that? How did you know that? I mean, I used to hear my dad and his brother talking about that. How did you know that? Because spirit and truth come to tell the truth of the matter of it all. And the truth of the matter can't be found in history, in the books. You see what I'm saying? In how many this, things that has to do with worldly matters. But it has to do with spiritual connection that was orchestrated before the foundation of the world so that you would know what you walking in and out of. But that's a situation many people don't want. But you know what? It matches up with the narrow gate. You ain't gonna get it. So whether you want it or not, it ain't for you no way. Okay? So a lot of these children are not a lot. These children, the women grab them. That lady whose son tore that place up, you know where her pain was really at? I can't believe he did that over me taking his phone, because you never got to know who his daddy really was. And there's things about his daddy you never would you don't know. But if the lady would tell the truth and do her search, and it won't be a search as far as how would I say it? Her search would be talking to her either her ex-husband or her son's father and find out, did you experience this? You know what I'm saying? Because all of it in spirit and truth come down the bloodline. Come straight down that bloodline. And is that spirit and truth? Yes. Because a lot of things people are chasing and they trying to figure out, well, why do I have breast cancer, or why do I have colon cancer? First thing that the medical, the Europeans, first thing they want to know, your history of your family bloodline history. You see, through that bloodline history, everything came down through the bloodline history as far as your health and any issues you might have. When it's just like that, when it come down your children, they coming down that same bloodline history. So where it matches in spirit and truth, everything AHAYAH has ever did, it always come down the bloodline in spirit and truth. And we don't want the bloodline history in spirit and truth. We want the worldly history. We don't want the bloodline history that set us free from the inside out. We want the history that's going to set our mind free on our outside, which is our flesh. We don't want the spiritual history. We want to chase after the fleshly history. And there's a big difference. So a lot of our women, they think since the sons are babies and they young and they teenagers, and then they start switching up on them, even the daughters. And they trying to figure out, well, what did I do? Where did this come from? How did this happen? And they never think that the biblical has said it, the instruction books have said it from the beginning to the end, letting you know what is actually taking place. Where did it start, Deborah? Before the foundation of the world. And it came on down as AHAYAH orchestrated it. Well, what do you mean? Why do he say, I will visit the iniquity of the fathers for a generation? 4 generations. And what happened then? If 4 generations, the sin of the father rests in them 4 generations, and neither one of them make a change, it goes into the next 4 generations. And then the next one, and then the next ones, and then the next one. And here we are in captivity. You see, it always come on down. Why? Because we are the ones that never follow AHAYAH's rules. A lot of you all don't know, a lot of things he set up for us was because he was setting up ways on the earth to try to get us to try to do something just. But when he set it up, they'll take heed to what he set up, but they'll go up against him or go up against what he has set up for them. He saw them doing all the sin, and they was doing it so much of it. He said, well, wait a minute, I tamper with what they have, finances. How was he doing it? He said, I get them to sacrifice their finances for sin. You see? You see how smart that is? Okay. Deborah had 5 cows. Every time she commit a sin or break the commandments and the law and commit a sin, she had to sacrifice one of those animals. She only got 5. She also have to use those animals. That's her bread and butter. But if she's sacrificing these items, truly they will stop sinning. It will cause her to stop sinning so that she could have her 5 cows. Let's say cows. I'm just throwing in something. But what happened? If she keep breaking the law of sin, she has to sacrifice. Notice he had them sacrificing what they had. You see what I'm saying? So that was their money. That was the way they gained wealth, through the things that they were sacrificing. And even then, it didn't stop the sin. So much you all have to get in it under the ruach and let him teach it to you. It'll just say, you'll say, well, wait a minute. How is it we live this long not knowing this right here? And it was always here. That's how AHAYAH is. He is one that constantly revealing things to us, showing us things. And today, in this day and time, it's a blessing to be up under the Ruach HaKodesh, because he's showing you things in the darkness, showing you how you get out. He's showing you places you can get out of and how you get out. So you don't have to walk in the midnight darkness and you can walk in light. So he forever, ever be in there to help somebody who is thirsting for the things to do that is right and pleasing to him. You know what? It's vain and vast to want to follow righteous, or you want to do right, if you're not wanting to do right by him. You want to do you want to fall into righteous because you want to do right by the Father, not right by saying I'm righteous or I want to do right. No, you want to do right by him. You want to please him. You see what I'm saying? And that's me all over again. Because my whole ideal is, I know I ain't worth a dime, and I don't have no issue saying that. But Father, I just want to be pleasing to you. I want to do what is righteous. I want to do what is right so that I can please you. You see? And I know if you are pleased with me and I please you, you already got grace and mercy on me. Already. You got it poured out on everybody. And I just want to say, I want to please you. I want to do the things that pleases you in your eyesight, because we don't know what pleases him because of who he is. So we want him to know we feel the desire to please him. You know, we want to do the things that pleases him, not things that pleases us to think that we pleases him. We have to think of the ideal of, wait a minute. When I see that hand, it's bigger than a house. When you think of him beyond anything on the earth. Then you begin to get fear. The gift of fear that he puts in you, you begin to see why it's worth fearing him. Why it's important to have the fear of him. You know, it's just all those things that's, putting him in a category of where he's all that and some. And we as a people, we never wanting to see him like that, because we're so busy seeing ourselves in a way that pleases us, to where we can't see him way beyond us. You see? So a lot of times, going back to that lady for her son, she wouldn't have never thought he would have done that. She wouldn't have never thought he would have tore up that house that way. But see, just imagine. She brought him up as a baby. She brought him home. She took care of him, pretty much gave him probably what he wanted. Because when he had that phone taken, it was like, no, you done took that phone from me. Now taking a phone from your son, what would make him tear that house up like that? A phone. A phone, you guys. The imagination and the thought. And he did what you call chaos. And me, myself, I love my children. Do something out of line. You get locked out. I tell them, lock you up and throw away the keys. That was me always, y'all. I always told my kids that don't play with me and don't play with the Most High AHAYAH, number one, and do wrong by him. Because you can't go around here making these kids right and they're wrong. They got to feel and learn in their wrong to draw to Yah, not in you making them right. A lot of us mothers, we get into this word. We want to instill this word into our children. We want to give them this and give them that about the Bible. We want to read scripture. We want to teach them. But AHAYAH said, wait a minute. Trust me to deal with thee. Trust me to deal with thee. Because if you thinking that ministering to them, I taught Bible class. Whoo, boy. I gave scriptures and I raised my children on the word of Yah. Let's say my oldest daughter, I consider her a whiz. I consider her very, 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 very smart. My oldest daughter. And when her and I had disagreement on things, when she was coming up and even to now, but we don't have it as much as when we was coming up. We didn't have it then either. Let me just not say that. But when she done something or she felt she was right about something, only thing I had, I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm going to let y'all know so you all can stop thinking it's about you, then execute it all evil and wicked from your kids. No, that's not true. It's not going nowhere. You're going to really see how every word you have spilled over into your children's ear, you're going to really see in days to come. And that's not because of something you did. It's just because we tend to think everything is peachy keen based on how we teach, how we bring them up, and how we make sure they understand who AHAYAH is and so and so. AHAYAH already orchestrated their life before the foundation of the world. I'm sure that woman wouldn't have never in her life thought her son would do that over a phone. It ain't like she whooped him. It ain't like she beat him over a phone. A phone. So going back to my daughter, the only way that I could raise these 4 sons and these 2 daughters was through the word of AHAYAH. And as I say that to you, I got to give him glory and honor 100%. Because sometimes it was what he said through me that causes them to say, buckle down. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't so much as what all I knew, but the things that he gave me to give them, it supported me bringing them up. Now, did I look to father and dad or whatever? There was nothing there but a brick wall, a total brick wall. So therefore, I did what AHAYAH gave me and how he gave the information he gave me and everything that he has given me, I have given it unto them. Okay. So what happens? As they get older, they go up against every word that was spoken to them and go on the other side. That's how it is done. I'm telling you all. Why? Because Sister Deborah didn't orchestrate their lives. AHAYAH did. I just was a seed planter. I was putting the word and planting it in them and hope that it increase in the time to come in life. Okay. And I believe, based on what I can see out of the children, the word is there, no doubt about it. But I don't think they're standing on it, as I did coming up. I stood on the word. Okay. And I believe, because I stood on it and I believed, always believed. My mother would think I'm crazy if I told her. I remember when I went to the hospital, and I think I was 3, and the doctor turned and asked my mother and my father, what is going on in the house? Why is this child showing symptoms of ulcers? My mother probably would be shocked to know that I heard that conversation and I still remember it. You see, it wasn't what my mother and daddy was doing. My mother and daddy didn't do nothing to me. It was what the devil was doing, battling me at a young age, trying to make me something outside of who I was, who he knew AHAYAH had already molded and shaped. So I understand Job. I understand the whole idea of him offering Job. You see, because in my time when I was a little girl, it's the reason why I had them Bibles under my bed. It's the reason why I had those crosses under my bed. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's sad. I don't think I had a peaceful sleep a day in my life when I was young. I battled all those things. I didn't sacrifice cats. I didn't set nothing on fire. I didn't disobey my parents. I didn't do what I was real good in sports. Everything we would go out and play and do with the girls and the boys. I was always the best player in the surrounding. You see what I'm saying? But I wasn't about destruction and violence. No, no, no. That wasn't me. So I do know that throughout that time, and then I look back at my dad. My dad, they said that they don't even think he ever had a fight in his life. They said, I know my little brother ain't. He never had a fight. He don't argue. He don't fuss. My little brother. So my dad, I never seen my dad argue with anyone, or fuss, or get upset with anyone. I never saw that. And my mother and my dad raised us all, my siblings, 7 of us. And I just said that, my life, I was trying to show it to my children, but when you have a different father, I'm gonna tell y'all something, it's different. It's not the same. So even though I was putting out the way I grew up and how my mom and dad did with us, because we had a 2-parent in the household, and that's the way I was trying to raise my children. And I'm gonna be honest with you, tell you all the truth. I think I did a good job with doing it. But it also, through it all, the Father shown me that when I'm done, I must understand He predestined them before the foundation of the world. And it still rides on who they are from the heavens based on the bloodline that they came down as well. Now, what happens when generational curse can be broken? Yes, it can. Yes, yes, yes. So I look at my children now and I say they could be doing this, they could be doing this, they could be doing this. But I thank the Most High that they're not doing this. You see what I'm saying? And I still look to Him. This is your will. This is what you orchestrated. So I did my part. And that's that. Chaos, I'm just not about bringing chaos, nor am I addicted to chaos. I'm pretty much peace. And that's who I am. And that's who I have always been. I come in, I go out. I don't bother the neighbors on the left. I don't bother the neighbors on the right. I'm just me. Just what I call a straight line. Just a straight line. So when I get on these devil platforms and I see so much chaos on Facebook, I see so much chaos on YouTube, I see chaos on Instagram, and look how people are exploiting their whole everything. And it's just people are addicted to all that chaos that people are putting on, and people are thinking that they the best. Oh, I'm on a devil platform and they love me, they like me, they subscribe to me, they think I'm the best. But baby, you the best chaos keeper, or the best in giving them a bunch of, how would I say it, chaos, and that's what they're looking for. So a lot of people think because they have subscribers and likes, they don't even, that's because of how much trash you've been putting in people's ear. That's all that is. That's all that is. Why you say that, Sister Deborah? Because to me, I have not found any spirit and truth or light in none of them. I'm serious. So therefore, not to say that I am the beginning and the end of knowing all things, but from what I can behold, it's not there. It's just not there. A bunch of chaos. That's why people talk about the things that's in the world to the level of constantly keep talking about them, and talking about black and white, and white and black, and voting, and Republican and Democratic, uh, uh, how many people been killed, how many been murdered, how many is missing, all of this. People on these devil platforms day and night searching for chaos like that. That's what keeps them going. It gives them energy in their flesh to be able to constantly get on these platforms and hear a bunch of chaos. And that's how I saw it yesterday, when they, even with the strangers that came onto the page, they were just coming with the intent to not just hear chaos, but speak chaos. And with me, all is well. I really don't have any problem with that. Really, I don't. But it's just the ideal of coming to the page. You're not, see, what a lot of people don't know, people don't come to the page and just see what this lady is saying so I can say this. They come with the intent. Okay, you ain't talking the dirt and the trash that I'm talking about. You talking something I don't even know about. So therefore, did. You see, if they knew spirit and truth, and they knew about the direction of the light, then they would sit and listen, and and then expound or ask questions. But people who's just scouting and looking for chaos and trouble, and being able to, and that's another thing, all these platforms allow people to speak a lot of chaos. That's another thing. It allows people to express a lot of chaos, and they just find pleasure in that. And it's okay, because it is the devil's platform. Anybody in the live chat has any questions that you would like to, any questions you might have, or maybe you can give me some answers to some things that maybe the Spirit of the Most High has given you. I'm open to any thing that the Father has given you, that we can take on another probably hour, maybe just discussing just things that AHAYAH is dealing with us with and in. Yeah. Mhm. Anybody? Okay. So that's what the chaos, and it's an addiction, you guys. It is. It's a full addiction on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And guess what? I do the opposite. I refuse to let wicked and evil continually be my thought. And I would shut it down. I would get off and not get on just to show my flesh you don't rule. I can shut you off and I can shut you on. You see? Because sometimes I do that just to show my flesh that it don't run nothing. I'm not going to be what you want me to be and how you want me to be. I am about spirit and truth. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And flesh, you're in the world. And guess what? You're not greater than the one that's in me. So stand your tail. So it's and it is an addiction is a powerful thing. And if a person is addicted to these platforms, because some people are addicted to videoing, really addicted to it. They got to have videos, and a lot of times they're chasing subscribers and likes. So they're posting many videos just to reach a certain number. And when y'all finish, baby, let me tell you, when they finish, it ain't even worth what they're doing and what they're seeing, because a lot of them are not feeding people spirit and truth. They're not feeding people anything, but yet they rather feed you anything. Feed you something than to just have nothing, because with nothing they can't build their subscribers nor their likes and stuff like that. So anyone has any, I refuse to let in. That's good. That's real good. That's good. That's good. So that's just where Sister Deborah is with uh, the platform itself, being able to see that people are looking. So the whole ideal of the young man and what he's doing, I do believe it's something Haya is using as a tool. And the tool that he's using him for is not the righteous tool. It is the unrighteous. So I think the whole ideal of this young man is for the unrighteous will of the Father and not the righteous. I really think so. Praise the Most High Yah. Do you really feel you have so much to learn? Do you really? And what make you feel you have so much to learn? So much to learn. Can I ask you that question? What makes you feel you got so much to learn? Yes, I know that's right. Thanks for the grace and the mercy. Yes, Father, yeah. But can you, what would make you feel that you got so much to learn? And I was thinking about when I was bringing my children up, I remember uh, participating in winter patrol during the holidays. I would work with the shelters, and to feed the hungry or the homeless, and I would work to scout out those that are out, you know. Your flesh. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I would work with the homeless, and I brought my kids up participating in that as well. But where we're at today, it's just so much going on. It's best to just hear the voice of Yah lead and guide us in where we should be in this day and time amongst his needy. Okay. Um, we're in there no matter what. You see, meaning that when the angels, when the sheep was separated from the goat, and Yeshua went on telling the sheep what all they did. The sheep asked him, when did we do that? So it's not something we do to gain recognition or to feel like we're doing what is righteous. A lot of times we are already righteous because righteous is in us. And that's what a lot of people did not understand. And here we are in 2022. You hear these Hebrew Israelites say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they don't know a darn thing about Abraham, let alone Isaac nor Jacob. Because Abraham, he was counted righteous because he was already branded for righteous faith, and belief was already in him. That's why he believed while he was in the spirit realm. See, why did AHAYAH say Abraham was counted righteous outside of him being in the spirit realm? See, he had to take you, and he took me to the spirit realm to see that Abraham believed. You see, when did he believe? When he was in the spirit realm. Abraham was counted righteous. When? When he was in the spirit realm. You see what I'm saying? So because he was in the spirit realm, he was already branded. And in the spirit realm, AHAYAH letting you know that he was already ushered this in his spirit. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people thinking, oh, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And one thing the Hebrew Israelite movement seeing is, and they focus, and this is why they're off, totally 100% off. They're looking at a bloodline. In the bloodline, you see, and what do we call that part? That type of bloodline, we call that flesh. You see what I'm saying? We call that part of a bloodline flesh. And that's where they were looking at the flesh bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why they can't get past the fact that we the people, and we can just sin and do everything, curse AHAYAH, profane his name, disrespect him, dishonor him, kill our women, hate our women, women killing their children, men killing their children and their mother and father, all the things he said shouldn't do. We don't see no wrong in it. And AHAYAH said this: if they're doing it and you ain't saying nothing toward what they're doing and not calling it out, you are a partaker in what they are doing. A lot of people don't know that. You are a partaker. When you see these things, you got to see it and feel that it's wrong enough to speak it. Because once you see it, you feel it, speak that thing. You see? But these Hebrew Israelite men, they want to tell the women, shut your mouth. You're not supposed to speak. But what have you done with your mouth? Nothing. Nothing in spirit and truth. Zip. They haven't spoken any spirit and truth out of their mouth yet. Since this Hebrew Israelite movement started, they have not spoken spirit and truth out of their mouth yet, because spirit and truth ain't got nothing to do with them. That's why they formed it into a religion, and they took on that course because they did not know how to take on the spirit and truth, because AHAYAH didn't brand them. He did not brand them with faith, belief, and righteous. They're not branded for his name's sake. And see, they thinking because they the blood line of the flesh of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we in there. No, 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 no. You're not in the eternal heaven, baby, until you the bloodline of the promise, which is the spirit. You see, and that's what Abraham inherited when he was in the vision. Okay, he was in. See, Abraham was counted and he believed because he was branded in the spirit Before he was in the spirit, before heaven and earth was created, he was already branded. But when he was in this spirit, that was for you and I to understand. He got in through the spirit of belief. He got in through the spirit of righteous. He got in through the faith of the spirit, not and that wrapped into one seed. Now, there are the seed that's going to make it to the New Jerusalem. And a lot of them, he said, Abraham, they coming right behind you. And what you got, they going to have. He's not telling him your bloodline, your flesh children is going to inherit the promise of eternal life. All I promised to you in the flesh was to give them this land for the flesh. I did not promise you that I would give them eternal life. See, there's two seeds. There's two promises. You see? And who held those two seeds and those two promises? You know who held those? Abraham. Abraham held the two seeds and the two promises. He held the seed to the flesh and he held the seed to the spirit. And that's what was going on when he was in the spiritual realm. And he was given, he was counted righteous, and he believed. He believed in the spirit, in the natural realm. Why? Because in the spirit realm, where there is belief, righteous, and faith, that is a brand of the Most High AHAYAH in an individual before they hit the earth. That's why he went on and telling you all, I knew you before you was in your mother's womb. I predestined you. Reason why he was saying this, before your flesh hit the earth full of sin, I already had you sealed in. You see? That's why no one never thought where he said the Lamb book of life. Okay? And how the lamb was slaughtered before. Everything was orchestrated before he even said, let there be. Anything was created. And then all those verses that he tells them, but I knew you before heaven and earth was, before heaven and earth. I predestined you before heaven and earth. I ordained you before you was in your mother's womb. What is that telling you? That it don't have nothing to do with flesh. Because I hit you in the spirit realm, not when you was in your mother's womb. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of us, a lot of that has to do with what took place before the foundation of the world. Another part that the Hebrew Israelite men didn't get. And now, even as I'm talking to you all, I'm learning. I'm learning that this is one of the number one key to the kingdom that they never received, because it wasn't given to them. So this going back to why they started the Hebrew Israelite movement and took partial out of Deuteronomy and partial out of the Bible, and the part that Abraham was given. They never thought, what happened to Abraham before AHAYAH told Abraham anything? What did he do? He knocked, I want to say something else, but he knocked, I want to say something else, but he knocked him out cold. And I'm not talking about sleep. Because the same knockout he did to Adam, he did to Abraham, a deeper sleep, to the point, watch this here, a horror of darkness fell upon Abraham. While he was asleep now, he was asleep already. So that tells you that something else was taking place in this here process of him telling him about his seed going over to another land. Okay? See, and what they did not understand, the seed that he's telling him about over in another land, these are the seeds to the promise of the land. The promise of the land is a seed that was promised the land, but there's another seed promised eternal life. You see what I'm saying? So the seed that's promised the land, their promise is to the land, not to eternal life. And in those seeds, AHAYAH has many. You see what I'm saying? That means they're going to get the promised land and they're going to get eternal life. You get what I'm saying? Because what? when he told him to look in the skies as far as the stars and see if you can count, and he mentioned before about the sand in the sea, he was telling him many nations are going to come out of Abraham. Okay. And where the many nations come out was the seed of the promise of the land and the seed of the promise of the promise of eternal life. They're coming out of him, the spirit ones and the flesh ones. You see? Now, can the spiritual ones gain the land? Yes. Can the flesh one gain eternal life? Yes. Only one way, though. If they have been written in the Lamb book of life before the foundation of the world. The only way. You see, and that's beautiful for me, somebody like me who speaks spirit and truth, who believe everything was orchestrated before the foundation of the world. And let me tell y'all how powerful that is. And when you understand that to the fullness, AHAYAH instilled in you power beyond power. Because now he said, I have brought you to the realm to know where I start and know where I end. You see, he wanting you to know that he's worth all that and some. You see what I'm saying? And when you know him from that level, you can't afford to be at the level of the world. Even though you in the world, you still can't be in the level of the world. Let me tell y'all what happened to me this morning. I woke up this morning and the feeling was kind of like neutral, as far as I kind of felt sad and I kind of felt good. It was in between feeling, you guys. And I don't know where that feeling was coming from, but I was lying and I was in the bed and I was just in my own deep sleep. But I began to praise him in the sleep, y'all. Father Yah, oh Father Yah, you so excellent, you so wonderful, you so great, Father Yah, you so perfect, you so awesome, Father Yah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I was saying some things and I was like, my flesh was like, I'm looking that way because the way I could feel my flesh trying to understand what is she saying. And I was saying it, but I wasn't saying it out of my mouth. I was saying it in my mind. But I remember it. It was so sweet. And I laid down. I continued to lie down. And I looked at the clock. I said, how did I sleep an hour and a half over? See what happens when you put him where he is. We need to stop trying to place him somewhere he don't belong. Stop making people represent him and they ain't told you they about him, nor have their actions and signs reveals him. You see? But then when the true prophetess come or the true prophet come, they get ready to what? Kill, steal, and destroy. Not steal, destroy them. Kill them. Because they don't want to hear spirit and truth. They don't want to hear the whole matter of it all. You see? So as I was laying down, I was just, I'm talking to you, but I thought about it was really strange. So the reason why I brought that up, I thought about Abraham when AHAYAH knocked him out and began to tell him what is going to happen to his offspring. Okay, look how far away it took place from what he said to Abraham. See, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. You never heard anyone after then as if Abraham mentioned it to anyone. You see, because he was in a vision, you guys. He was in a vision, and the other one, he was in a dream. So and when you finish as holy, he was in the presence of holy with these things being told to him. And he was being counted righteous, and he was being counted he believed, you see. So if you were to, the Father were to take you to a holy realm, I'm sure you will believe. I'm sure you will. The wheat and the tare, and the sheep and the goat, and the sower. Okay. I will say this. The only one can separate the sheep and the goats. Yeah, the only one is dealing with the sheep and the goats are Yeshua. When he go to the four corners and collect, okay, he already got his. His is going to be considered one. He's not going to call them sheets with an S. He calls them sheep because we are in one fold in him. But the goats are going to be collected. So the goats and the sheep are going to be separated. Okay, one going to sit on the right side, and the other one going to be on the left side, which is the goats. Okay, now the wheat and the tare are. You remember the whole idea was AHAYAH had planted seeds, and what did he do? He put it in the perfect ground. Why? The four grounds of the ground. The ground represent the earth. Okay. The sower is AHAYAH, not Yeshua. See, that's why people, you have to get it, and put it in the right, because a lot of people thinking Yeshua doing it and AHAYAH doing it, they don't know who's who. But the sower is the Father. The Father had orchestrated everything before the foundation of the world. Now he orchestrated it to go as it to be as the ground is the earth. Okay, he's the sower, and he sowed seeds onto the earth, which is his word. His word came down with us, in us, you see. But he separated it into four categories. But he only had one that had the soil to increase and to be a part of who he is. The other three, we're still going back to the narrow gate and the broad gate and the broad gate and the narrow gate. The other three, I was a young person. I think I was like 16, and I was getting kind of upset because I was like, why would the sower, in my little mind, I couldn't understand what's this deal with this person that's sowing the seed. He need to get him a new job. I was just getting that bad. I was that bad about it. Because I'm like trying to figure out in that parable, well, wait a minute, what would be the sower mindset to sow these seeds in the wrong place? Because he sowed them places, guess what? He sowed the seeds in a place he knew they would not survive. This goes back to knowing who he is. And if you think for 1 minute he's somebody to play with, that's where the fear come in. When you really know who he is, you'll feel the fear that he has embedded in you of who he is. He's just not one to play. And the way we make things, oh, he's so loving and kind. But he said the earth was the ground. Okay? And he sunned down the word in the people. Okay, the seed is the word, and it went to the stony ground, it went to the rocks, it went to the stony ground, it went to the wayside, and it went into the thorns. The word that we came down here in. But what happened? They died off. And every one of them, as the parable said, they had the word, but something caused it to die out. They had the word, but something caused it to die out. They had the word, but something caused it to die out. Darkness, evil, and wicked. But the one that had the soil He was already planted in the soil. So did that one that had the soil, the seed that was planted in the soil? So what's the deal with that? Who in the live chat can tell me? What's the deal with the seed that was planted in the soil? The word that was planted in the soil. Who knows anything about that one? Oh, don't that. Oh, no, now you're gonna make me feel sad. Dang. You know why? Because he's greater in you. He's just that greater in you for you to feel that way. He is living in you. You hear me? Because honestly, I don't feel it every day, but I do still feel it. I used to feel it a lot when I was in high school, and as I was getting older, young 20s and 30s, I would just come out of nowhere and just feel really, really, really just a sad beyond a sad, y'all, like somebody done died, because I felt that we as people don't even know how much he's worth and who he are. Just think now, if he's pouring out grace and mercy all over everybody, you think anybody care? They could care less. So how do you think that makes him feel? I mean, it's just like we don't think that he got feelings too. He's the creator of feelings. So why do we execute his feelings and want to be caught up in our feelings? Just deep. But about the soil, let me see if someone else has been able to answer that. The soil, the one that was put, the seed that was put with in the soil. Yeah, and it really gets really sad. Okay. Oh, yes. You should never worry about doing anything upsetting him. I want you to go to Google, and pull up blameless in the Bible. And you'll hear your father tell you, don't worry about it. I'm going to hold you blameless. I'm going to hold you blameless. And you got to trust in his word. So once he hold you blameless, then you got to understand you are set free. He understands that we are in the flesh and we are now in the spirit. But once we have recognized him, don't think he don't realize you still in the flesh. Just because you recognize him, that don't mean you start heading to being perfect on the outer man. It's just believing in him. That's the only part you're supposed to be perfect in. Did you know that? It's believing in him. And everything that you feel about him, believing in him, trusting in him, fear him. That's all it's about. This flesh is going to do things, say things, conduct itself a certain way. Then he turn around and tell us, look up blameless and put in the King James Bible, blameless. And he'll tell you right then and there. Make sure you get all the verses so you can see. He's going to hold you blameless. So he letting you know this ain't about trying to work that flesh in perfect. But if you love me perfect, then I'm going to make sure. That's another part of seeking ye the kingdom first. And I let me take care of the rest. But I never said it was going to be easy. And I never, ever would ever mislead somebody to think you can be perfect in the flesh. Because you cannot. Yeah, tell him that he's my all in all. Already written in dirtiest. That's it. That's it. You hit it. You hit it. The question was the Ahaya is the sower. The seed is his word. And he allowed that one seed, which we know it was many, to be planted in soil. You just nailed it. Already written in the Lamb Book of Life. So he knew it was going to increase in spite of the issues that one might have in this world. Once you in that book, a lot of times, see, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Don't ever turn away from your instruction book, which is the Bible, because it's a higher is going to teach you and lead you and guide you from your spirit all the way to your flesh. But he also wants your eyes to see some things. You see what I'm saying? Not just your spiritual eyes, but your natural eyes. Because you come up on somebody who don't have what you have, then you're gonna have to be able to show them something in writing in the Bible. So that's still you're feeding and you're planting something in them, and you're gonna let a higher do the increase. So don't ever let nobody tell you do away with the Bible or it's all wrong, because it's coming to that. And it's been prophesied as well that they're going to do that. They are too ignorant to realize that what you're doing by denying it in its fullness, you was going to do that anyway because the Bible said it. Oh yes, the Bible said it. It sprung up and had seeds. The seed that was increased, right, had more seeds of the seed that was put into the soil. That represent all the seeds that went into soil. It sprung up. Okay, it sprung up because it represents Yah. You remember Abraham? He was in the vision. He was counted righteous, and he believed while he was in the vision, because the vision was telling him it was already branded in him in the vision, not when he was in his flesh and he was conducting the ways of his flesh. AHAYAH has to take him to the spirit. Same way he have to do most of his, especially the men. And I noticed that. I say, well, why is it, Father, you took them all to the spirit realm to communicate with them? Y'all think about that. You always took them to the spiritual realm to communicate with them. Yep, blameless. That's what he wants you to understand that in your flesh. Okay? Because you have to understand it's okay. Why? Why would he be still pouring out grace and mercy? You see the type of individual he is? He's out here pouring out grace and mercy on everybody. You see? So what is he doing for the individual who are walking therein with him? He gonna hold you blameless. Why? Because he's in you. So why should you be blamed for anything? Greater is he that's in you, in your spirit. So he that it makes a lot of sense. You're not gonna be held blameless. And the seed was already in the Lamb Book of Life. Every last one. Yep, you really do. Because you should be able to wake up and realize, wait a minute, I'm set free. Even though my flesh is in bondage to a land, but I am set free. You see? That's that liberty that he said he gives us. Yes, it is. It feels really good. Praise the Most High, AHAYAH. Yes, he is. He will set you free indeed. And I used to think back, even sometimes I'm thinking of it now about how many times I actually didn't get sleep, you know, wasn't one that could sleep at night, and just thinking being a little child like that. And I had my sons, and after I started having my third child, that's when it got better and better and better, and I was able to sleep all night long. I was like, wow, I like this. But it was, I just think all my young life, it had been like that. Now I go to sleep, but it's just a torment that was put there all the time, tormenting me all my young life. And I remember the father, he allowed me, and it had to have been a vision, because I remember seeing a dark, a cave light, and it was this big, it looked like a big black cast iron, big round thing that was on a fire. And I seen this face, this demon face, and he had a dog in his hand, and he was sticking me. And this is how I got delivered from this. I used to do my hands like this here, because ashy feeling, I used to always do this. And it felt almost like someone was sticking me. So in this vision, I saw this here, this creature sticking this doll with this pen. The moment I saw that, me doing this, it end. I never did it again. I never did. And I had done it for years, but I stopped once I was given the picture of what was going on. And at that moment, I remember saying to the Father, you're allowing him to torment me. He is tormenting me. And I think back at it now, that's where I'm at today. You see, is because he tried me at a young age. Okay. And the things that he tried with me, let me tell you, I can't remember performing or being on his side at all. But I remember the torment, and I remember I used to have to sleep with the radio or some music on, and my mother would tell me, "Cut that radio off, cut that radio off." So one time she said she was at work, and she was telling this lady, "I got a daughter," and she told her how young I was. She said she can't sleep; she have to sleep with the radio. And the lady told my mother, "You should always let her sleep with her radio on." And my mother came home and told me that. She let me sleep from that time on with the radio on. But that was to try to throw off the thought patterns that was all bombarding my thought. And I mean, and they were so off the chain. If I told y'all half of the stuff this spirit was putting on me, it would tell you would say, well, Miss Deborah, you better get on your knees now and thank. I'm telling you, that's why I can truly say that he has been with me through it all, and I look back at it and oh, Father, yeah, just thank. Excuse me. I just thank the Father for all that he has been. I do. I thank him. I really, really do. So, did anyone have any? So, I guess no more questions. So, I guess we meet again on live, or I would maybe push a video out soon. So, I say again, I appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live screen chat. And I will be back again. Yep, that grace and that mercy. Yep. Yes. And I will be back again in his righteous. That's it. That's beautiful. If you go back, read the word where he said, Yeshua was telling his disciples, their time was now, and the time shall come where we should worship him in spirit and in truth. So that time is for those that are chosen for that. So we can't be mad at a lot of people because they are not taking on something that they have not been given. And I guess that's another way of being set free and appreciating it to the point where you're not looking down on someone and making someone else feel bad because they don't have what you have, especially our family members and friends. Just let that light of spirit and truth shine, that they may see that light and desire to have what AHAYAH has given you. Thank you. Thank you. So that's the best thing to do, because you have to look this way and see that, okay, a higher is in me and he's teaching me spirit and truth and showing me the direction to the light. Then we can't look over on this side and see somebody who don't have it and just, because then we have to be like kind of feeling compassion and mercy, because a higher has given you something that he have not given anyone. And the purpose of it is, he said, now be the light unto the world that cannot be hidden. And that's the main problem today. We are hiding spirit and truth. A lot of people will not teach spirit and truth. Let me tell y'all why. It's because it does not get the likes and the subscribers. That's why they won't teach it. Isn't that sad? That's going back to what I was saying earlier, the title of this message. Everybody loves and are addicted to chaos, but spirit and truth comes to bring light of the whole matter. It comes to show people that you are free in me. I'm the one that's in you. And if I'm in you, you best bet you are free, and you are free indeed. I come to give you liberty, not to be in you and you in captivity in your spirit. And once you all know, once you are set free in your spirit, guess what? You are not in bondage, and you are not in captivity in your flesh. It's because you are set free in your spirit. That's right. Pray for them that a highest will be done. That is so true. See, and let him increase it. That's right. That's good. That's real good. Seek him daily. That's right. That's good. Rest in him, trying to seek spirit and truth. There it is. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else. It also is a healing to have that spirit and truth, because it'll teach you that um, there's healing in that. There's power in that. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Yeah. There's healing, power, deliverance, all kind of things is in that spirit and truth. hmm Yes, it is. Like yesterday, I got, now it ain't been yesterday. It was last Wednesday. I took garlic, I took ginger, I took lemons, and a small amount of honey. A whole lot of it, y'all. I mixed it together to I puree it, so I can take it like medicine. And I take a spoon of it every day before I go to bed. And it didn't, I mean, so far I can actually see it shrinking even my tummy. And I'm like, oh, I didn't plan it on to be that, but I just thought I would start putting something inside of my body. And then after I do that, after it, I see if it works, I'm going to make it for my children as well. Mm-hmm. Yep, I sure did. hmm And I take it every night before I go to bed. And it's nothing. And another thing, you guys, it is so hard. It is so hard for Sister Deborah to believe, even though it's right before me, how the system is feeding and selling us stuff that's not good for us. I mean, they really trying to break our bodies down. And my phone, they keep telling me when it's you do for an upgrade, you do for an upgrade. And I'm like saying to myself, I only had this phone for 6 months, and you should see the things that's happening to this phone. It won't let me dial. And if I dial, it ends my call. It won't let me get online on internet. It won't allow people to call me. It's just all kind of things. And I'm like saying to myself, you mean they controlling the system to the point where they are getting your money as often as they desire? Because they'll mess up your phone. It's no way that phone should be doing that, you guys. Not all that it's doing. And then I went to telling my children, and they were looking at it and said, "What's wrong with this phone?" But they don't know it's their phone too. They do it. They do it all the time. They message your phone. They already, yeah. It's too hard to explain. Maybe that'll be another day. They do. They tamper with that stuff. And the food, they mess with your food. The food that they're, oh, all this fast food, the fast food restaurants are all. It's not food, y'all. It's really not food. Um, I mean, the sugar is the container of sugar, the box of CN is the CNH sugar, all of that, you guys. You just don't know what they're doing, and they're putting into everything. Stay away from cheese as much as possible. To try to stay away from cheese, you guys. But they messing up the phones, and you know what they said to me when I went in? They sit and tell me, you're up for an upgrade. Then I said, give me my phone. And I left to go home, and I called them this morning. And that guy had me on the phone for half an hour. We're going to do this. And Spirit told me, he giving you the runaround. I said, Father, I feel like he is. And when he finished, he said, your phone should be fixed. And I'm going right now to the closest tower to your house to make sure I add you to the upgrade for 5G. How are you going to do that? I had, how are you going to do that? That was already on the phone. You see how they're doing it? It's just messing your phone up. And did you know this young man, when I hung up with him, my phone was worse than it was when I called him. Everybody been telling me, they've been trying to call me, they've been calling me, and they calling me, and they can't get me. And I said, that's sad. And that's the things that it's going to happen. That's the way it's going to be. And it's like that feeling of that. But I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Let me tell y'all the truth of the matter. I'm so glad to be able to feel it. I'm feeling the prophecy. I'm feeling AHAYAH's prophecy. What he has prophesied and what he has taught me in the wilderness and what he has taught me from the instruction book. I'm feeling that thing. And in the midst of feeling it, it makes it okay. It makes it like, okay, you know it, you feel it, you see it. I told you, you're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I was thinking, I said, I don't want to go and get a new phone. But I said, Father, and he know when it come down to stuff like that, I don't like to be controlled like that. Y'all just don't know. I do not like to be controlled. And to me, that's just a form of controlling by tampering with the phone. And then I might say, okay, maybe they ain't tampering with it. It just the phone just acting up for real. But I think back, every phone that I had, less than 6 months, it did the same thing. And then everybody had been telling me their phone had been doing it too in the last 2 and 3 years. And I don't pay no attention to it. But when This time it's more, it feels more like we're getting closer to something. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're getting closer to something and you got to be fully prepared. I'm sorry. You got to be fully prepared from the inside out of whatever, is before you. I don't let them track my location. I don't let them track my whereabouts, where I go. Mm-mm. Yeah, they're not going to do that, baby. They've been stopped that about your food and health. The HDC, what is it? They all setting it up because even when just listening to that man that came into the store the other day, he was telling me about how the government system, he called it a system, over in Illinois where he got this store. He was saying how um, they trying to control him because they want him to do things in the black community that he see that just clearly not right and sell items. A lot of y'all don't know the hostess cake, cheese. You know why they gave us cheese, you guys? It has a lot to do with our health. So I always wonder, why would the government give cheese back? That just cheese. Why is it WIC gave cheese? See, it didn't make any sense. They used to say milk, drink milk and cheese and cereal, certain things. And but really, why would they give you cheese? You know what I'm saying? So I've learned a whole lot from people who are in the health care field that deals with nutrition. And they say it goes way back. And I say it makes sense because the government was giving people them big old blocks of cheese, and black people act like they was giving them $1 million. A million. When I saw that 53-footer truck parked in North St. Louis, and them people was, you should have seen all the cars was open, and y'all, they had their trunks full, cars so full they couldn't even put any more eggs in it. These people, these black people just was off the chain with this egg. Now one of them gave it a thought. Why do this young guy look like he's a hood rat driving this 53-footer truck into your community and disperse all these eggs to you all, talking about Sam wouldn't accept it? Baby, please. And when I questioned him about it, he knew the guilt on his face, but the anger was, you mean this darn individual? He was black, but you knew he was mad because you figured out. And all those eggs, baby, y'all don't know what's in them eggs. And if those eggs been on that truck, and that truck is that wide, I mean that deep, and it was full of eggs, something wrong somewhere, y'all. Eggs has to be temperature right. Oh my goodness, it's just and our people out there like they giving $1 million away. I mean, we whatever. That's just who we are, huh? But they in our community giving away and doing things, and and I just think about how we never, ever, ever had it right, y'all. We can sit here and lie and say, oh yeah, it was like this and this. AHAYAH told me, Deborah, the further you go backwards is where it all originated from. And that means that when we can sit and lie and say, oh, back then it was like this. And he said, he was telling me about all these things that these men and women that's older than I have experienced. It was off the chain. I said, is that why when I was working at Chrysler, that all those elderly was asked me if they could talk to me, and they would tell me the stories and tell me everything, and they were total strangers to me. They didn't know me from nobody else, but they felt comfortable communicating. And the things that happened in their household, y'all, I look back at mine with my mommy and daddy, and I say I was truly blessed. I could see I was truly blessed. But yep, they was really off the chain back then. And if you think today bad, let me tell you something. Let the spirit of no, you don't want the spirit of the Most High to reveal to you all of it extended from back, not forward. So even this homosexual, that went all the way back to Lot. And then you go to Lot, and guess what? It went further than that. No. Lot came into Genesis. Yeah, it went further forward in Judges. So it has happened throughout. Stuff has happened throughout time and for time, and people just ignore any and everything and figure it go away. It's gonna get better. It's gonna be this way. It's gonna be that. To me, don't look for nothing to be better if you don't have a higher living in you. He has to be in you for anything to get better, because that's the only thing you look forward to is the ideal of him that's in you, that's going to make it better for you. That's going to make it better for you. It's him that is in you. It's not going to be uh, the heathens and Gentiles giving us, what is it, reparations, and then who are they going to give it to? Our people are so out there, you guys, on alcohol and substance, and a lot of our men is gone. They've been gone. They just didn't know it. They didn't know all that crack and that drugs and everything messed up their red and white blood cells, and a lot of them don't even know it. And they wondering how. And this is what bothers me. How do no? It don't bother me. Let me stop. It don't bother me really. It's over. It's finished. It is what AHAYAH said that it is, and just leave it there. Leave it there. It is what he said, and ain't nothing gonna change it. So we just gonna leave it there. But yeah, I just want to say I just thank the Most High for who He is all by Himself. Um, and I'm just gonna lean not to my own understanding, but trust Him in the days to come and the things that is before us. But be careful out there buying the food, and a lot of people say, well, we can grow food, we can do. If they only knew the chemicals that they are spraying in the sky and in the air. So it's a really, they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand. It's good that you get it and grow it and put it to the side or whatever. But Satan, you ain't gonna be able to can him up. You ain't gonna be able to pluck him up. You ain't gonna be able to freeze him up. He don't care what you got prepared. He don't care what you got ready. You see? And that's the part you need to be getting ready. And that is your spirit, man. Getting ready to just rest in a higher in whatever he got prepared for your family, your community, your city, your state, your country. Just know whatever. I'm just following in his way. And that's I'm trusting in whatever he got planned. And that's just it. Anything else, whatever. And you can get there. You can get there. Sister Deborah's there. But it doesn't take away the fact that I'm human as well. That means I can feel the vibes of wicked and evil that's in the world amongst people. It's to me, it just it's hard for me to see any. It's really, y'all might not believe this, even though it's hard for me to see the heathens when I can't see my people in Rome. You see what I'm saying? It's hard for me to see the heathens when I see my own nation wicked and evil. Because I think of, wait a minute, from heavens, he had to bring the Messiah down, and the Messiah had to come down a nation of people. So therefore, not only that did he chose a certain people, and the people that he had chosen, he knew that they didn't have a heart for him. He knew that they wasn't going to uh, abide by his covenant and his laws and his statutes and his commandments. He knew all that. When he parted that sea, he knew they was going to get over there and clown the moment they got over there. To me, that shows you who he is. Stuff like that, I sit back and I think, that shows me who he is. Stuff like that, I can't help but see who he is. When I think of things like that and I read upon the things that he done, let me set an example. When when David soldier, I guess he was over uh, uh, the soldiers, and Israel had 800,000, and the tribe of Judah had 5,000. So they was coming up on a war between someone. So his man came to David and asked David, do you want me to count who is able to fight in the war? And David told him, no, don't count him. Who would be able to fight? But the man, he went out anyway and did the count. So he came back to David and told David he did the count, and the count is this. Where David smote him, which I believe he killed him. Yeah, he killed him. Just because he did that. Just because he did that. You see what I'm saying? So Gab, I think that's his name, came to David, and Gab was David's prophet. And he came to him, Gad, I think it's Gad, is it Gad? Gad. He came to him and he told him that the Most High said that he got three choices. Three choices. He has to pick one of them for the consequences of of killing his man. See, a lot of us thought David only killed the woman's husband that he wanted. But there's things that we do in our flesh. We do things in our flesh. And AHAYAH is not pleased with it. That's why he allowed us to have a consequence for that. But this is what I think of. I think of the choice that David chose. I know one of the choices was that for 3 months, him and his army would be hunted. I think they were hunted down for 3 months. It was 3 choices he had. The choice David took was pestilence. Pestilence, meaning different diseases were to come down on his soldiers. And it did. And guess how many he killed? 70,000. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So I be thinking about the things that David has done, Solomon has done, Moses has done, everybody has done. And I look back at my little self and I say, well, okay, Father, I guess I done some things too. But I look at the things that they have done and I say, Father, but whatever I've done cannot compare to what they have done. But in AHAYAH, he might not see it like that. You see? So that's where that fear of him, that you don't want to try him at what David, Moses, and all of them have done. You just want to make sure you're right. You know, you don't want to test him at what he would do and how he will react to the things that you would do. So you don't want to even go in that direction, none whatsoever. You know, we have sinned and come short. We all have. And nobody's perfect. But I believe the grace and the mercy of the Most High AHAYAH is so heavy on people, whether they're evil or whether they're righteous or whatever. I think that grace and that mercy is thick because there's so much going on, and it seems like there should be a cutthroat end to many things that's taking place and many people that's doing certain things. But AHAYAH's thoughts and his ways are different. In the way, why is that? It's because he has orchestrated everything. He's seen it from the beginning to the end and everything in between. So that's another thing. So my thing is to say to you all, let us just trust, believe in him and trust in him, and know that the beginning to the end is orchestrated by his right hand and his stretched out arm, and that all things is founded in him, whether it's good or whether it's evil. He still is the creator of it all, and we don't want to test him or test the water to see what he will let us get away with, because many have gotten away with a lot of things that it is wicked and evil. But yet in AHAYAH, he had orchestrated it from heaven. So AHAYAH is not, listen to this, y'all. AHAYAH is not going by what has taken place on the earth to the point where he is locked in his book. You see, everything's gonna be fulfilled from his book level. That Lamb Book of Life, what's coming back to me is in there. And if you want to cut up from the floor up here and there, you better know that the book has everything in it, and that belongs to him anyway. And that's kind of good, because it's like, so what? I pouring out grace and mercy. The true thing rests in that book up there. You see. So and know that with spirit and truth, the Father want me to let you know it comes with power. So don't think you cannot use the power that rests in and with spirit and truth. It's there for that purpose. And that's where faith come in, that's already branded in the individual. Because even in these last wicked, evil days, you're going to need that, whether you know it or not, or you think so or not. It's something that you will, and we will need it. We really need it. And he has it to allow us to use all that he has and all that he is invested in us. So we too, and a lot of people say prayer changes things. It's not what comes out of a man's mouth. Okay, it's not what comes out of his mouth from his flesh. They don't understand it has to come out of the spirit. You see, it has to come out of the spirit realm. And 99.9 don't even know anything about their inner man nor their spirit. That's why they working on their flesh, and they letting their flesh get the victory of everything. And that's why a lot of people, I told you before, can't kick habits, can't kick drugs, addictions, and even getting on this devil platform, searching for videos that's got chaos in it and trouble and gospel. What is it? Gospeling against one another, and what is it? I don't care if I pronounce words or not right, y'all. It's just not in me. It don't even faze me, because I've heard people tell others. Honestly, I haven't heard people tell others. I heard people tell me that people tell them that you ain't speaking the proper grammar, or you ain't speaking the proper language. Okay, what is in this? What did Abraham? What did he tell Abraham? In a land that they knew not of, nor a language they knew not of. So you see, we're still not in our own native language. So why should it be so proper in the way our captivity has taught us? To me, I say it the way I want to say it. It don't matter to me, because when it all said and done, when you say it in spirit and truth, they get it. They get it. No matter how you say it, they get it. Whether it's proper grammar or not, they get it. That's how they can respond. It's because they get what you're saying, and that's how they respond. So it doesn't matter if you're perfect in this and you're perfect in this. It doesn't matter. That's why I tell a lot of people, it's not caught up in what you are on the outer appearance, or just long as you don't let your inner man think that your outer man is trying to get draw attention, or trying to look for people to look upon you, and as long as you got your right heart from your inner man, you okay on your outer. So you can't, because once you start working with your outer man, let me set an example to y'all. Y'all might think this is really crazy, but it's not crazy to me, because I have done it so many times in my younger life. And I'm honestly, let me stop, because I have done it in the last, say, 3 or 4 months. No, in the last 2 months. uh, did I ever? I don't know if I ever showed, but did I ever show y'all? I uh, I went to 4 different places in one day, and I got 4 different European men. 4 say something regarding my earrings. Little bitty dangling little earrings, y'all, coming down. 4 European men, not boys, approached me in 4 different locations, and they said, "Ooh, those are some beautiful earrings you got in." And I was like saying, "Oh, thank you." And to me, they plain, they're nothing. And in me, I'm trying to figure out, well, what will make them look at that. And it wasn't nothing but 2 or 3 weeks later, a woman and another man said, "Oh, I love those earrings." Separate. So I'm like trying to figure out what's the deal? What's going on? So what Sister Deborah do? She takes those earrings and put them to the side. Because to me, that was something telling me, bring it low. And in me, I'm like, okay, but these really be the tiny earrings, and they are not. But if they going to attract others, you don't need them to focus. And in me, I'm like saying, well, why would this little earring cause someone to focus? And it does. But what I did is I put it to the side. I said, those are the earrings I won't be wearing. Because I feel that if I go outside and there is attention drawn, that's a sign for me. I'm talking about me personal. Okay. You got to either tune it down, or only because the way people respond. Don't get me wrong. It's only because the way people respond. And if they respond a certain way, I bring that thing down, y'all. I bring that thing down. Because the devil is so cunning. You see? So what I do is I bring it down. Now, I might not take it totally out, but I tune that thing down. All because I don't want no attention brought to me that way. If I want to feel beautiful for me, that's what I do. I don't listen to nobody tell me how I dress, how I'm supposed to look. I don't listen to people tell me. Here go one of the I was going to a funeral, and here the earrings are. Here go the earrings. Let me see if y'all can see it. Can you see the earrings? Wait a minute. Why is it? Can you see it? Oh, it's cut off. But watch this here. I was going to a funeral this day. Wait a minute. Can you see the earrings? Well, that's me in there. Sister Deborah don't all the time look like she looks like now. One thing about Sister Deborah. Can you see the earrings? I can't even see there you go. You see how it shows a picture when it's going off, but when that is so strange. I'm trying to show you all the picture. Wait a minute. I'm trying to show you the earring. Oh, there it is. You see the earring? Oh, whatever. But I'm trying. Okay, baby. Okay. That's my son telling me. But I try to if I get to the point and I want to just look nice for me, but if I get out and it's a way that you drawing attention, I tune it down. I tune it down because I don't want this has happened to me, you guys. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's really this deep. When I'm out there and someone walks up to me and they say, "How you doing?" A total stranger. It be heathens, Gentiles. It can even be a Mexican. It don't matter, male or female. And they would say, just speak to me like they know me. I just want to tell you, I was just looking at you, and I know you was wondering why I'm looking, but you got a glow about yourself. I'm serious. Way y'all see me here, it's one way. And there will be times, I think I've done it twice, where I will get on here and ask y'all, can you see the glow? Because I could see it. It's not a glow to stay on 24/24. So if I am fixed up to where I feel beautiful, then I want to be able to be that light in which the Most High have told me I am. So I don't want to be looking beautiful every day, trying to, make myself feel good for me when I can take it, tune it down, or even tune it out. And my sister never said, well, how do you do that? How you be just don't wear, I don't get caught up in putting on certain kind of clothes, looking this way and dressing this way. I just go. Just go. But when it's time for me to go somewhere, that's a different story. You don't know me now. You see, when it's time for me to go somewhere, it's a different story. So even when I go out every day, I don't put on my makeup, and I don't wear makeup maybe once out of 2 months. Honestly, y'all, once out of 2 months. Um, but I'm just speaking of being the light, okay? The light has to be able to glow through you. You see, the light is not going to glow 24/24. I don't know if y'all know that or not. It's not. It is not. I thought when I was working at the post office, I was wondering what these heathens used to talk about being not in the spirit. They used to say joy, joy, and boy, I used to hear that so much going to the post office. I said, Father, what is this thing called joy? Because ain't that much joy in the world. They keep talking about joy, joy, joy. What is joy? Ain't nobody in the world got that type of joy the way they trying to say it. And the Father was telling me, Deborah, it is not the type of joy that rests on you 24/24. It's not that. It's a feeling that he bring upon you. And when you got that joy, it's a feeling that comes upon you, but it's not a feeling that stays with you 24/24. So a lot of things people don't understand. You're not supposed to walk around here thinking that you shining every day. Now you can feel within yourself he's greater in you every day, but don't forget he's in you, in your spirit. So your flesh is has to glow based on how he is from the inner man, and he glows from the outer man to the outer man. And that's the same thing with joy. That joy has to be given to you from the inner man. Because I was like, what is that? And I mean, I nagged the Father for 2 weeks. Well, what is this lady getting on this radio and keep on saying joy, joy, joy? Oh, I have joy. And I said, ain't that much joy in the world? I don't know where she getting that from. And then all of a sudden, I was on my way to the post office. And I felt this feeling, and I didn't know where it was coming from. And I was like, oh, boy, this show feel good. It was a total unusual. And the Father told me, Deborah, that's joy. I said, George, she talking about, but Father, that's not a 24/24. He was explaining to me, no, it's not something you have 24/24. It ain't something like that. It ain't 20 something that you just have 24/24. But that's the way people want people to believe that, oh, they got this and they this and they did. Sister Deborah will never get on this devil platform and make y'all think that this life in this world. Don't forget when Satan came down like a lightning, he was coming down for one thing, and that's to deceive the whole world. Go back to your book. He said he came down to deceive the whole world. Does that mean you included? Yes, until I come down for you through Yeshua HaMashiach. You see, I'm coming down for you. You see, so a lot of us don't understand that the flesh going to always have some issues within itself, but you can always execute what the flesh tried to rear up and be over not over, I ain't gonna say it, because the spirit is always contained the flesh. It's a way your spirit can get your flesh so under subjection to where even when you think and you say things wrong, you do things wrong, your spirit will check your flesh quick. That's when you know you're walking and you're seeking the Most High in a way that He has you in full control. You know, when you're able to tell your flesh, get somewhere and sit down, shut up, you ain't talking about nothing. You don't have to say that. Don't say that. That ain't nice. Don't do that. You know, when you're able to chastise your flesh, then your spirit is where it's supposed to be with AHAYAH, because He always told us we need to get that under subjection, because it's always a battle against us in our spirit realm with AHAYAH. Always. So I, Sister Deborah, will be back again, and I'm sorry I went over and over and over and over and over. But I thank the Most High AHAYAH for who He is, and I thank Him for just being all that He is. And I appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat. And I will be back. So I say, shalom and shalom. Have a pleasant evening.